going to continue the lesson, same lesson which I taught you yesterday, the impact of the British rule in India. So today I am going to take the subtopic about the land tax policies. What do you mean by land tax policies? The East India Company had to pay lakhs and pounds to the British government for the control over Bengal province. So the East India Company had to pay 4 lakhs pounds. Okay. So the East India for the British, for what it is? For the loss to control over Bengal province, the East India Company had to pay 4 lakh pounds to the British government for its control over Bengal province. So in order to fulfill this commitment, the company had to stabilize the finance interest. So they have to take care of the finance interest in a secure manner. So hence it was implemented, the new land tax policy was thus implemented. So that their finance should be stable and they shouldn't have any loss. Okay. So that is the reason this new policy was implemented, that is called as new land tax policies. The next part is about the permanent zamindari system. What do you mean by permanent zamindari system? Here, Lord Cornwallis implemented a new land tax policy in Bengal during 1793. So, Lord Cornwallis implemented a new policy in Bengal in the during the year 1793. So, in order to generate what? To have the steady revenue annually, to have a proper revenue, this policy was implemented. So Lord Cornwallis implemented a new land tax policy in Bengal during 1793. So that in order to generate the annual revenue steadily, or to have the steadiness of the annual income what it is coming in. So this was called as permanent zamindari system. So under this system, zamindar became the landowners. Listen children. So under this zamindari system, who became the landowners? So under this zamindari system, zamindar became the landowners, and the zamindar was expected to pay the agreed land under this system. So under this system of the zamindari, the zamindar became the landowner, and the zamindar was expected to pay the agreed land taxes to the company on a set date every year. So the zamindars, what, they were the landowners, but they had to pay at a particular time certain taxes as a land tax to the company. So for this, he was free to collect any amount of land taxes from the farmers and would retain the excess money collected. So here what did the zamindar did? They pressurized the farmers. They were putting more and more pressure. They were collecting more amount. So more money was collected from the farmers, and whatever was told by the company, it was paid, and the remaining money was kept by the zamindars. So here who will be going in the loss, children? The zamindars were going in the loss because from farmers the zamindars were collecting huge amount for the sake of company and even for themselves. So this benefit, who got the benefit here? The zamindars were benefited, not the farmers. So more and more the zamindars went on getting benefited by themselves. Later on, this benefited the zamindars, and if the zamindars was unable to collect the land tax due to any of the calamities, like you got the floods, the famines, so to pay the company, the ownership of the land was taken away by the company. So if the zamindars are not able to take the money from the farmers as a tax, if they are not able to collect the land tax from the farmers, so what the company will do? They will take over the ownership of the land which was given to zamindars. Okay, so this was the punishment given by the company to the zamindars. So at any cost they had to collect. But sometimes some natural calamities will not be able to collect. The farmers are not able to give the tax what they have to pay because of the floods, famines, etc. You know, the crops and all will be devastated. So when that position comes, what the company does? The zamindars who were the landowners, the company takes over the land from the zamindars. Later on, both the zamindars and the company were benefited by this system, but who were the sufferers? The farmers were the sufferers. So, company also was enjoying here, zamindars also were enjoying. But who was in loss? The farmers were in loss and they were going to the dirt of the poverty. Means they were becoming poorer and poorer by paying the huge land tax to the zamindars, which has to be later on given it even to the government, that is the company. Later on, what happened? Here, so this system created a new social group. So this system created a new social group that added to whom? It was added to the British, and the farmers, the farming laborers suffered due to irregular working opportunities with the farming lands. So sometimes the farmers don't get the opportunity to work in the land. That time what happened? The farmers will be the sufferers in the working land where they are not able to work irregularly, means irregular working. Okay, so here also this thing loss is for the farmers. They were exploited and had to lead a life of insecurity. Insecurity means poverty, insecurity, because they don't know when they have to vacate, what will be next, what is their problem, how they are going to pay the land tax, what will be their future condition, their family, all that. So they had the insecurity. The farmers had the insecurity here. So this system is extended to which all places, states? Bihar, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Varanasi region. So later it went on to other states. So according to here, what does Charles Metcalfe says? So according to Charles Metcalfe, it is said that the Indian farmers were born in debt, they lived in debt, and also they died in the debt due to the land tax. Okay, so who said? Who said this, children? Who is the one who said this? Charles Metcalfe. So Indian farmers are born in debt, live in debt, and die in debt. So this is the saying which was told by Charles Metcalfe to the Indians. So Indian farmers are born in debt, they live in debt, and also they die in debt. So this is the condition of whom? Because of the land tax, where the Indians had to pay for the Britishers because of the overburdening of land tax. This statement was said by Charles Metcalfe for the Indians. Means they are born with the poverty, and they live in poverty, while dying also they will be in poverty. So this is the saying of Charles Metcalfe. The next one I am going is Mahalwari system. So this is A and this is B. So second one is Mahalwari. Okay, here children, what is meant by Mahalwari system? Okay, the company got entered into an agreement of the levels of the Mahals. So first you understand what do you mean by Mahal. Mahal, with regard to the payment of land tax, it was started in Uttar Pradesh. So the government, the company government, okay, that is the East India Company government entered an agreement. So they entered an agreement with whom? With the Mahals, with regard to the payment of the land tax in where? In Uttar Pradesh, in many parts of Madhya Pradesh, later on Punjab and Delhi. So first it was Uttar Pradesh, then the other parts were Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Delhi. Yeah, what is Mahal? Mahal means taluk. So here Mahal means what, children? Mahal means taluk. So So what do you mean by Mahal? Mahal means taluk. So here R.M. Bird and James Thomson implemented the system. R.M. Bird and James Thomson. Okay children, so who implemented this? R.M. Bird and James Thomson. So P silent. So James Thomson implemented what? This system. So there were differences in the implementation of the system. So the differences were there means was from one region to another region. There were lot of differences for this system. So the big and small zamindars were part of this system. So who were the part now here? Again the zamindars were the part of this Mahalwari system. Since the company officials fixed more land tax than the expected production from the fields, many zamindars had to lose their ownership of the land. So what did the company do? The company officials fixed more land tax, means they increased the land tax, where the zamindars were not able to collect it from the farmers. It was too heavy for the farmers to give, and the zamindars were not able to collect it. So in the other way, what happens? The land which were zamindars were owing and collecting the land tax from the farmers were taken away by whom? It was taken away by the lands were taken away by the Britishers, and the Britishers became the landowners. So here the marginal farmers and agricultural laborers were dependent on their zamindars also suffer due to this. So the marginal farmers and agricultural laborers, so everyone suffers because they don't have any work, because the land is taken by the Britishers. So the marginal farmers who were paying tax, and also the laborers who were working in the field, who were dependent on whom? They were dependent on zamindars, because zamindars were allowing them to cultivate their lands. So because of this, they also were suffering, and even the zamindars also were suffering due to this system. So the next I am going to go is Rotwari system. Okay, what do you mean by Rotwari system, children? Here, the Rotwari system was first implemented in Baramahal region by Alexander Reed in 1792. In Baramahal region by Alexander Reed in 1792. Alexander Reed in 1792. So, Rotwari system was implemented by whom? In Baramahal by Alexander Reed in 1792. So, this is very important, children. So, later on, what happened? This system was later implemented where? In Madras, Mysore region by whom? Thomas Munro in 1801. So, 1801 again it was implemented in the other two states, which is that Madras and Mysore region. It was implemented by Thomas Munro in 1801. So most of the regions, what happens here? Most of these regions had become the part under this system, and both the farmers and the company were directly linked. So according to this system, both the company, the farmers and the under this system, both the farmers and the company, according to the Rotwari system, it was between the farmers and the company. They were joined together, they were linked together. So the tiller of the land was who? The tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. Means who is owning the land? The tiller. So the tiller of the land was called as the owner of the land. So the owner had to pay 50% of the produce as land tax to the company government. So according to the Rotwari system, this link was between the farmers and the company. So the tiller of the land, whoever is owning the land, the farmers, they have to pay 50% to the the company government. Okay, and so the land tax had 30 years tenure. So the tenure for them, for the farmers, was given by the company was for 30 years, and the tax could be revised after this tenure. So after 30 years again the land tax can increase and it can be changed. So the small farmers were given land ownership and they were subjected for more suffering due to heavy land tax. So here the farmers were given the land, they were given the ownership, but because of the heavy tax here also they also became the sufferers by the company. So Rotwari was the link between by the company and the tiller of the land, that is farmers. So this is about the Rotwari system. Okay, so here what happened, children, in Rotwari system, I continue. The officials take the punitive action to collect the land tax. So official means the company officials, they come to collect the land tax from the farmers, and the farmers had to borrow from the money from whom the lenders whenever the crops fail. So there are some money lenders who give money to the farmers. So whenever there is a loss of crop, these farmers are going to money lenders and taking money to pay the land tax to whom? To the company. So they had to sell their lands whenever they fail to repay the loan. So whenever they take the loan from the owner, that is the money lender, if they are not able to pay that money back to the money lenders, the land will go to the money lenders as a loan repayment. So though the company government claimed that the new system benefited the farmers, the irony was that the farmers had to lose their lands due to this implementation, because the tax was more and the crops, it won't be the same every year. It keeps on changing because of the climatic condition. Sometimes there will be benefits, sometimes there will be loss, and the huge tax to pay for the company, the farmers must take care of their family. So because of this, they go to money lenders, they collect the money and give it to the company. But when the money lenders, they are not able to repay the loan, the land is taken by the money lenders. So the next part you got is, what is the impact of British land tax system? What are the impact? What are the drawbacks? So first one is, a new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers were created. So first point is, a new class of zamindars who exploited whom? The zamindars first, they exploited the farmers. So they were created. Second, the farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of the zamindars became the landless slowly. So the farmers who were subjected, they were subjected for whom? For the exploitation of the zamindars. So they became the landless slowly. Landless slowly means they started losing their lands because they were not able to pay the company money. Later on, the land became a commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the land. So land became a thing. So because if the money is not able to pay by whom? By the money lenders. When they are taking the money as a loan from the money lender, if they are not giving the money back, so the land is becoming like a thing. And what like a thing? Land became a commodity, like a thing. And loan could be raised by mortgaging, by taking away the land by whom? By the money lenders. Fourth point, many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land tax. So many of the farmers, they had to give away the land to clear their land tax. Fifth, the agriculture sector became commercial and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. So the agriculture also were supposed to grow only those crops which is required to trade for England. Only those crops the agriculture were made to grow in their agriculture. Means the crop whichever the British were needing. The British were needing some crop which they can transport to England. Only those crops, the agriculture sector became commercialized and had to grow only whatever raw materials needed by the industries which has to be sent to England. Later on, the money lenders became strong. So here money lenders became strong by how? By not the farmers were not able to repay the loan. Okay, I'll repeat once again these points. A new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers were created. Second point, the farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of the zamindars became the landless slowly. Third, land became the commodity and loans could be raised by mortgaging the land. Fourth, many zamindars also had to mortgage their land in order to pay the land tax. Fifth, the agriculture sector became commercial and had to grow only raw materials needed by the industries, the lacking needed in England. And lastly, the money lenders became strong. So these are the 6 points. So next I am going to go is to the modern education system. What do you mean by modern education system? Children. Here, the traditional education of Indians were in practice continuously. The tradition of education was practicing continuously. New changes occurred during the British rule. During this century, 18th century, there were the changes in education in the British rule. In the 18th century, new schools were started for the children of British and European living in India. So the schools were started for whom? Not for Indians. For the British children and the European children who were living in India. Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of the modern education in India. So who implemented it? Who started it? Warren Hastings. He is the one who is the facilitator of the expansion of the modern education in India. So in 1781, he started Calcutta Madrasa. Jonathan Duncan and British citizen started Sanskrit College in Banaras in 1792. So I will repeat once again. In 1781, he started Calcutta Madras. Jonathan Duncan and British citizens started Sanskrit College in Banaras in 1792. So this is about modern education system. So the British expansion of the British education, India, what it received? It received special support from the other appointment of Lord William Bentinck in 1828 as the Governor General of India. So expansion of the British education received support from whom? Lord William Bentinck in 1828 as the Governor General of India, and Bentinck appointed Macaulay as a member of the Governor General Executive Committee. So Bentinck appointed Macaulay as the Governor General of the Executive Committee. Macaulay was appointed also as the chairperson of the Committee of Education. So Macaulay was also appointed as the chairperson of the Committee on Education. So the report on education submitted by him in 1835 became the base of the modern education in India. So according to his policy, it is aimed as creation of a new class of Indians who are Indians by body but British in intelligence, opinion and taste. So it is said that his policy aimed at creation of new class of Indians who are Indians by body but the intelligence of British, and not only the intelligence but also their opinion and taste. So English medium in Indian learning system started after 1830. So the Governor General Lord Dalhousie established university in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras as per the suggestion of Charles Wood's Commission. So the Governor General Lord Dalhousie established university in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras as per the suggestion of Charles Wood and Commission in 1854. Okay, now I am going for the last part. the impact of British education in India. Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with nationalistic ideas. I'll repeat once again. Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitude and rationality along with nationalistic ideas. Impetus was received for the local literature and languages. This facilitated unity in thinking process among the educated class. Periodicals started emerging. These scrutinized the policies and working of the government, which in turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinions on various issues. So new social and religious reformation movement emerged. The thought of the thinkers who like J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the mind of the educated youth of India, and the freedom struggle that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. So Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. So this is the end of it. If you want, I'll repeat. Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitude, rationality along with nationalistic ideas. The impetus was received for the local literature and languages importance. The facilitated unity in thinking process of the educated class. Periodicals started emerging. These scrutinized the policies of the working government, which in turn enabled the Indians to have their critical opinion on the various issues. New social and religious reformation movement emerged. The thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the mind of the educated youth of India. The freedom struggles that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. So Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. So this is the end of the, not end of the lesson, still there is another 2 periods to continue and complete this portion. Thank you, children.